Ronaldo is edging Messi. Ronaldo fans will die on the hill saying Ronaldo is better in Europe. So Messi scores more goals per game. That is a run of dominance nobody's ever seen. Let's get into the facts and really analyze what those players are like. The first thing that everybody always compares is goals. Who has the most goals? And as of now, today is January 11th, 2025, the total goals scored, Ronaldo across all of the games he's played, Ronaldo has 917 goals. Messi, on the other hand, has 850. So if you just look at goals alone, Ronaldo is edging Messi. But again, Ronaldo has played a couple years more than Messi. So will that change? Will that catch up? Is that a fair comparison? Probably not. Let's look at goals per game. All my research, by the way, is backed up with this beautiful device I use called ChatGPT. It's giving me a lot of data, but it's got the sources in there. I don't have the time or the patience to add all the sources, so I'm just taking ChatGPT at its face value. Okay, back to the debate. Goals per game. Ronaldo has scored 0.73 goals per game, 0.73. Messi, 0.78. So Messi scores more goals per game. Tough metric to assess. You know, it's marginal at best. Minutes per goal. It takes Ronaldo 111 minutes per goal. Messi, 104 minutes per goal. Small statistic, but that has so many different variables. Depending on who your playmakers are, how you're getting the ball, how you're gonna score. All of that stuff comes into play. Hat-tricks. This is an interesting one, in my opinion. Ronaldo has 66 hat-tricks. Messi has 59. Now, hat-tricks are a set of 3 goals in a game. That's a lot. Like, it's really hard to them. Messi scored 59 of them. It is a measure of success because it shows that to some degree, especially because Messi is getting fed the ball better, clearly, because of, you know, he scores more goals. And his teammates, you had the likes of, in Barcelona, Xavi and Iniesta. That Ronaldo has scored 7 more hat-tricks over the course of his career does suggest that he is a little bit more prolific when it comes to goal scoring, especially when it comes to singularly scoring the goal. So is he a better player than Messi? Still debatable. Does he have the edge in this number? In goals, I would say so. Ronaldo, 170 penalties. Messi, 109. In Barcelona, it doesn't matter who gets fouled, Messi's taking the penalty. In Real Madrid or Man U or wherever Ronaldo played for, it doesn't matter who's getting fouled, he's taking the penalty. In that sense, yes, Ronaldo has gotten way more penalty opportunities to score those goals. So does that detract a little bit from him as a prolific goal scorer? Yes. So overall in the goals section, I would say Ronaldo is probably a bit more prolific, hence making him a better player in that category. Let's go to assists. Ronaldo's total assists, 256. Messi's total assists, 379. Messi far outweighs Ronaldo when it comes to assists. There is no comparison. The guy is a playmaker and a prolific goal scorer. So does he have more impact in his team? Yes. Now, Ronaldo over the course of his career, in the beginning he was more of a winger, so he was more of a playmaker. But towards the latter half of his career, especially when he got into Real Madrid, he became more of a finisher. So he was more dynamic in that sense. But Messi has been a playmaker and a goal scorer since the young days of Barcelona. I would definitely give him the edge over this. Is Messi a more complete, impactful player at this stage of his career? Yes. Trophies in Europe. So this is an interesting category. Ronaldo fans will die on the hill saying Ronaldo is better in Europe. But what does that even mean? And does that even matter? Let's look at this. Ronaldo has 7 league titles from England, Spain, and Italy. So he played in Man U, he played in Real Madrid, he played in Juventus, and he's got league titles all over those places. The English Premier League is a very physical, strong, difficult league to play in, and Ronaldo won twice there. In Spain, he played against Messi and won, against Messi's Barcelona. The La Liga is a tale of 2 teams. It's always Real Madrid or Barcelona who wins, and when Ronaldo was there, Ronaldo won a bunch of times. In Italy, he went to a very physical, again, the Italian football is very physical, very hard, very defensive, and Ronaldo cracked through those ranks to score many goals for Juventus, and they won the league title. Now, let's go to Messi. He won 12 league titles, 10 of them in Spain for Barcelona, 2 of them in France for Paris Saint-Germain. That's a lot. What he doesn't have going for him is that the breadth of the type of football he's played. For all of his career, mostly, he played in the Spanish league for Barcelona. No knock on Spanish football. It's one type of football. Tiki-taka was very prevalent for the massive tenure of Messi's career. He played against great players, but he played only against one other good team, which was Real Madrid. If you look at league titles and experience and depth of who has dominated more, you'd have to give it to Ronaldo because he's played in different leagues and he's won many league titles consistently in different leagues. Now, you could look at domestic cups, super cups, European Super Cups, FIFA Club World Cups. Those are all smaller and lesser trophies that shouldn't be held in that much regard, in my opinion. So we won't even get into that. Let's talk about Champions League trophies. This is important because Champions League is the highest level of football you can play because you're facing the best clubs all over the world. All of those clubs have spent a lot of money in buying the best friggin' players, and you're competing against them, and it's a knockout round, and there's pressure, and there's so much at stake to winning those games. I'll start with Ronaldo again. Ronaldo has 5 Champions League trophies. 2008 with Man U, 2014 with Real Madrid, 2016, 17, and 18 with Real Madrid. So in 5 years, he won 4 of them, and he won 3 in a row, and he was the main player during that time. That is a run of dominance nobody's ever seen. Real Madrid had a fantastic team, don't get me wrong, to get them there, but Ronaldo was the apex predator in that team, and he was the most feared player during that time in that era. Messi, on the other hand, has only won 4 Champions Leagues. One in 2006, and you can argue that he had very limited participation during that Champions League. In 2006, I remember this clearly, Ronaldinho was like the main guy in that team. Messi he played, but in some games he was a bench warmer. He had limited participation. He still wasn't the Messi that we know today. So in 2009, 2011, and 2015, Messi won with Barcelona, where he was Messi, he had Xavi, Iniesta, and some of these amazing Barcelona players that took him to the next level. When Barca won in 2015, keep in mind, the year before that, Ronaldo had won with Real Madrid, and the year after that, Ronaldo had won again with Real Madrid. So they were trading places in this who wins UEFA Champions League trophies and the greatness that comes with it. There is a big debate there that when it comes to high-pressure games in Europe, Ronaldo has the edge. Finals, semi-finals, stuff like that, Ronaldo has the edge. Messi has often been criticized for being not a very good leader, especially when the late great Maradona used to compare him. Now, I'm going to discuss Ballon d'Ors. This is a pretty hot topic. If you know what the Ballon d'Or is, you know it's one of the most prestigious trophies in football. Messi has won 8 of them, and Ronaldo has won 5. Now, if you're a Messi fan, you live and die by that sword. The Ballon d'Or means everything to you. The Ballon d'Or makes Messi a better player than Ronaldo. I disagree. In recent years, the Ballon d'Or has gotten so much flack for being a rigged trophy that favors popular superstars. On many occasions, Messi and Ronaldo, when they had decent seasons or not great seasons where other players have had better seasons, they've still won the Ballon d'Or. I don't think the Ballon d'Or is a great comparison of comparing these two players because many a time, often during that year, other players who had a standout or a breakout season were overlooked. The Ballon d'Or, obviously Messi has the edge. He's won 8 of them versus Ronaldo who has won 5. But we're tossing this one out because it's not a great comparison, and the riggedness of what people say the Ballon d'Or is in recent years has become more and more true. Case in point, Vinicius Jr. in the most recent Ballon d'Or being overlooked for somebody else. I think it was Rodri. Rodri? What? Anyways, now moving on to a portion of the debate that I love. Performances with the national team. See, I even have this jersey ready to go. I don't have the Portugal one. If I did, I would be wearing it. But before we dive into that, we need to compare apples to apples. What do I mean by that? Is Portugal as strong as Argentina historically and currently? Let's look into that. Argentina has a rich history of winning Copa Americas and World Cups. Back from the days of Maradona, Mario Kempes, they won 2 World Cups before Messi ended up winning the 3rd. Portugal, on the other hand, have historically had a weaker team, and at the national level, they haven't performed that well. In recent years, Portugal has become a powerhouse, and with Ronaldo, they have done particularly well. So now let's compare the titles. Since Messi and Ronaldo came to the fore, they've both been very strong members of their respective national teams. Portugal has won a Euro title. They won in 2016. Ronaldo had a big deal to do with that. Ronaldo carried his team all the way to the finals, and they won the final. Although Ronaldo didn't play a major part in the final, they still won, and he was a big player in the semifinal, the quarterfinal, the knockout rounds, and the league rounds, and Portugal ended up winning that title. Ronaldo also went to the final back in 2004 when Portugal hosted the European Championship. Back then, Ronaldo was a younger player. He just started in Manchester United, but he was a fulcrum of that Portuguese attack, and really, Portugal almost ended up winning, but they lost to Greece in the final. Ronaldo played a big part in taking that team there as well. So the Euro title is extremely important, and UEFA Nations League. That's also a trophy that Portugal won in 2019. Now, I don't consider that a big deal because it was kind of a new tournament. The squads that the teams fielded were not that strong, so I won't count that tournament. Let's look at Messi. Messi won Copa America twice, defeating Brazil in the final of one of them. Messi also took their team to the Copa America final 2 times before that, where they lost to Chile. Let's compare the 2 tournaments. Copa America by far is a much weaker tournament compared to the Euro. The Euro tournament is so much harder to win. Why is that? Because you have teams competing there that are much stronger than the pool of teams that compete in the Copa America. So it's not an apples to apples comparison. In the Euro, you have teams like France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, England, the Swedish team, and the Danish team. Some of those other teams, even Turkey, they field very strong teams. It's not so easy to win a Euro, but Ronaldo managed to do that and took a team to the final once before too. Realistically, the only big team in the Copa America is Brazil. And during those 2010 years, Chile had a very good golden generation of players where they ended up winning the Copa America. In terms of the national team title to title comparison, Ronaldo has the edge because he won the Euro. Now, here is a big difference. Messi has won a World Cup, and he's taken Argentina to the final of a World Cup. And that makes a big difference as to who's better. The World Cup by far is a biggest prize in football. Bar none. There is nothing bigger than the World Cup. Messi took Argentina to the final in 2014. He scored a bunch of goals, and in this latest edition in 2022, he won the World Cup against a stacked France side that had the likes of Mbappe, Griezmann, and so many of these other stronger players. Messi, for sure, has the edge when it comes to the national side. Why? Because the World Cup is the biggest legacy maker for a player. No matter who you are, if you win the World Cup, you will be stamped as a legend forever in 100 years to come. Look at Pele, won 3 World Cups. Everybody remembers that. Nobody remembers Puskás, where there's a trophy named after him. He went to the finals, but he didn't win. Back in those days, apparently in 1954, Hungary had an immensely strong team, the mighty Magyars. But nobody remembers Puskás. He's not considered one of the legends of all time. People remember Diego Maradona for what he did in 1986. People remember Franz Beckenbauer for winning a World Cup. Zico, who was one of the best Brazilian players of all time, considered a great, but not the greatest, doesn't punch above that legacy maker because he failed to win a World Cup in 1982. When you think of World Cup winners recent years, you think of Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, you think of Andrea Pirlo, you think of the great Spanish team that included Casillas, Xavi, Iniesta. In most recent years, you think of Kylian Mbappe. He won a World Cup in 2018. And now you think of Messi. In 100 years from now, people will look at the World Cup winners and Messi will be immortalized, like Maradona was, like Pele, like Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo. But will Cristiano Ronaldo be immortalized? Maybe not, because he doesn't have that oh-so-crucial World Cup win that makes your legacy forever. This will be hotly debated, but I think this is the icing on the cake. People say Messi was not a good leader, and I would be inclined to believe that if he hadn't won the World Cup. But he did win the World Cup, and that's the stamp that fans and football fanatics and football critiques will really want to see. Yes, there's an argument to be made. Is Cristiano more talented than Messi? Is Messi more talented than Cristiano? You could argue till kingdom come that Cristiano Ronaldo was a more complete player. He could header the ball, he had so many header goals, he scored bicycle kicks. Messi would cut in with his left foot and shoot, and he'd score. He'd score a free kick with his left foot, but he wasn't a very good header of the ball. He didn't have a powerful header. He wasn't known for heading the ball in. So there are many ways you could rate them. So who is the better player? Well, judging by the jersey that I'm wearing, as a Ronaldo fan, I can tell you that Messi is a better player than Ronaldo. You can argue till kingdom come on who was the more complete package, who had more goals, who had more assists, who won more titles. Ronaldo was probably a more complete player. He scored goals with both feet. He scored goals with his head. He scored as a playmaker. He scored as a forward. He scored as a winger. A very complete package. He worked harder. He had the body of a Greek god. He had the charisma. He was more popular than Messi. He still is. But you could argue that Messi was far more talented. He didn't work as hard. He didn't need to because he was that talented. You could argue that Messi has more Ballon d'Ors. You could argue that he had more accolades. But there is one thing that keeps Messi ahead of Ronaldo. It's the World Cup. By far, the World Cup is the most important win of any footballer's career. And Messi won the World Cup, and thereby he's made his legacy, he's immortalized his legacy for many years to come. 100 years from now, you'll look at those World Cup winners and you'll list out Pele, you'll list out Maradona, you'll list out the Brazilian Ronaldo, you'll list out Ronaldinho, you'll list out Kylian Mbappe, you'll list out Lionel Messi, but you won't list out Cristiano Ronaldo. He'll be immortalized for being the amazing superstar that he was, but he will still be one notch below Messi. Does that make Messi the greatest of all time? That's a debate for a different era. But does it make Messi better than Ronaldo? As a Ronaldo fan, it does.